Hello, listeners. It's been a little while since we recorded. Hope you missed us. We missed you too. Here you are with Siobhan Hoover and Ana Rosa Rizo Centino with the Madre and Warrior Mother on KZAA 96.5 FM. And today we are talking about birthdays and traveling and what it means to get older. Because, hey, y'all, it's my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
43. You
Yes.
couldn't pay me to go back.
Honestly, yeah. You know what? I love a birthday celebration. I feel like every year it should be celebrated more and more. But to me, the celebration is in life, is that it's necessary to find reasons to celebrate, to have a great time, to honor yourself and
Mhm.
everything that you've been through. So yeah.
Yes, and I'm so thankful that I got to celebrate with you at Kaje. Got some
Yes.
fancy.
Some yummy. So I had it was an avocado toast, but with lox.
Yes, and they kind of candied the lox, it looks like,
Yeah, it
and
was
put
like
some
a
spiciness on it. It was pretty yummy.
balsamic, and yeah, I don't know what the spice was, but it was delicious. So if you guys ever get a chance to get over there, I highly recommend it.
Yes. Patronizing our local establishments, which we all love so much, just like you have your local establishment of Warrior Mother, and I got a little Warrior Mother gift today.
Yes.
So very excited.
Some delicious, yummy smelling oils.
Rose, vanilla.
So the extra dose of love came out. It was, Rose is known for like heart healing, and so I started that one with rose and lavender. And then it kind of came off like a baby powder smell.
Mm.
And so I ended up adding in the vanilla and then removing the lavender.
Mm.
And it was just that perfect little balance between the lavender and the rose. And it just hits my nose right. And floral is not for, yeah, chef's kiss. Floral is not for everyone, but that one I really love to give as gifts, like from the heart.
Yeah.
And yes, so
That is my middle name.
is it really?
Rosa.
Yeah, well, duh. I'm like Ana Rosa Rosa. Oh my goodness. Well, how are you feeling? How do you feel better? How are we feeling today?
For the first time ever, I treated myself to an international trip to Costa Rica. Y'all know our friends at Pura Luna, Ash and Chris, and they just had this amazing healing retreat that dealt with the elements, so air, water, earth, fire, ether, and just really getting ourselves into balance. And it was so worth the investment. They also celebrated my birthday while I was out there, so that was really nice.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so lovely. I feel like just kind of that hard reset, during birthday month. That's actually like a really good idea to kind of come back to yourself and tap in and process some things, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll be there. I will definitely be there next year.
Yes, you need to go.
I do. And like you said, it's an investment. And it's
Mhm.
an investment in yourself that is always worth it. Typically, like when you're going through it, you're like, oh, I don't know. But coming out of the other end of it, I see that it's worth every penny.
Well, it felt like hard work, but work that's paying off. I feel it like almost like a new person. And for birthdays, you never know who's actually going to remember your birthday and who's not. So at least, this time I remembered my birthday.
Yeah, well,
and
that's
made
good.
sure made sure to, do something fun and transformational. Which I feel like it's good timing because I'm leading some pretty big work in the community with developing this grassroots Green New Deal for the Central Coast region.
Snaps.
Snaps. So I feel like in order to lead the way that I want to lead, I need to be able to invest myself and make sure that I'm the full woman that I want to be, which I feel like I am.
Yes. And not a lot of women can say that. So I feel like I'm always been the same person, right? Always been the same person. But there are levels and stages of who I am as a woman that have changed so much over the years. And finally, you come into this level of acceptance, um, certainly like unapologetic about who you are and who you've become. I'm speaking about me when I say you. And I feel so much strength in my vulnerability, and in my softness as a woman. It's like I always had to be so hard before. And it was a survival mechanism, but like, a way of protecting myself. But now that I'm older, I just feel like so much like juicy goodness that, I'm happy about where I
Yeah.
am. And I feel that with every birthday, it's like a tally mark,
Yeah.
on the wall. It's like, okay, here we are now. And then you look back at, I look back at relationships with friends or, romantic relationships. And gosh, there's been so much evolution there.
Well, and I think even with just remembering those prior incarnations of ourselves, looking at our prior incarnations with love and not being
No
judgmental,
judgment. Yes.
right? Because I think when we're able to love ourselves and give ourselves grace, just like we give others grace, it just helps us grow that much more,
Mhm.
versus saying, like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Why did I do that? Well, that's who you were at that time,
Mhm.
and when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. So much wisdom. No, I'm grateful for everything. Every little decision that I made have gotten me here today. And so it's there's some things that, well, maybe I wouldn't have done that, but I'm also grateful for the experience because that's a fun story usually.
Yes, we have stories to
A
tell.
lot of stories, love that stories. Not for radio, probably.
G-rated,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah,
Not G-rated.
there was a few wholesome ones, yeah, a few wholesome stories that I can certainly tell. No, but I just feel like as a woman in her 40s, you are more honest, more confident, more settled in who you are. And with all that authenticity, it brings on, it's like everything is vibing at the same level. And so it opens doors and brings on all the things that your heart desires. And so I'm a big, huge advocate of just soaking in all your goodness.
I also feel more sexual in my 40s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That has come up for me too. And I'm not sure if it's again just like the confidence or being comfortable with who I am. I think that as a society, there was always this shame around women's sexuality, or I don't know, was glorified in a way that was like Hollywood and, stars and whatnot. But I just don't know. I just feel like I'm very much more comfortable, more liberated. And perhaps it's in asking for what you want and being
True.
able to articulate, what's good, what's not, what's accepted, what's not.
Yes. Well, what is good is our show here. So we're going to do
Yes.
station identification. You are listening to Que Madre More, your mother on 96.5 FM KZAA. Thank you for joining us again. You can see us on YouTube later on if you don't catch us when we play initially.
Yeah. And today we're talking about birthdays and evolution of self, I think.
And traveling. I would
And
say
traveling.
this trip showed me that I need to travel. So I finally got my passport after it being expired for like 15 years or something ridiculous like that. And I feel like now that I have 26 sheets to fill up, it's almost like a challenge. Like, can I get to 26 countries in the next 10 years?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Yeah, I feel like when you travel, personally, it's always made me feel like culturally rich. It's like taking in all the sights, but also connecting with the people there. And it's always been one of my big things. It's like, no, let's go here and let's go talk to, these people and see see what life is like, instead of just doing all the touristy things.
Yeah.
I kind of like go to someone's house and see how they live. So I've always wanted to take the kids all over the place. So we went to Cozumel, that's it. And
Well, they have the
travel-
rest of their lives.
they
so
do,
you got
yeah.
to-
We've traveled the States quite a bit, but yeah, not internationally. But that's my goal, is to hit every continent at least.
Yeah, my friend, that was the first thing she told me at our high school reunion. I just went to my 25th high school reunion.
Ooh, mine's coming up.
And my friend Monica, she said, "Hey, Ana Rosa, how you been? Can you believe I finally went to all the continents?" Because ever since the last reunion, she had mentioned that she wanted to do that. So between the last reunion and this reunion, she got to go to all of the continents.
Yes, oh my
So that
gosh.
is very impressive.
It is, wow. Well, I love that. We have our 25th coming up too this year. And I was senior class president, so I usually help organize the parties, and I'm like,
Of course you did.
I know. I know, like, I don't even remember like how I got into it, but
That was treasurer, if I'm remembering correctly.
yeah, I had always been involved in student government and like doing the dances and the pep rallies and all that. I really enjoyed being involved in, and I don't know what came over me in my senior year, but I was like, I'm ready for all this.
Yeah.
So in any case, we have our 25th coming up. We really want to do something fun and big, but also ensure that we get a lot of people there. So we'll see how that goes. But what I really enjoy is giving out these awards. So we've done really fun ones in the past. We did like a Fred and Ethel award, and that was like the couple who's been together the longest.
So
And you have
cute.
some high school sweethearts, some of my friends that have been together since high school.
Aw.
The I've been everywhere award for the person who's traveled the most countries. We did the Fountain of Youth award, which I was like humbled.
Of course they gave it to
They
you,
did,
right?
and I felt
Yeah.
like really like, oh, you guys. Felt so silly. And then we did one.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, that's true. And we did one for like the person who looks the most different. But yeah,
Like
so
in a good way or like, damn, you aged.
I know. Well, I was hoping that people wouldn't do that, because let me tell you, there's some people who show up and you're like, wow, you look different. But it was more so like they ended up giving it to one of our classmates. He was a guy who always had like clean face, baby face, short hair. And at the reunion, he had really long hair and this like massive like beard, he just looked like a completely different person. So he ended up getting that award. I was afraid that somebody would be like, let's give it to this person who looks really old, like, oh, I don't want to do that. So, yeah, and I think that even before in doing these parties, I was always so like apologetic and I hope that this, people are happy with this or that and this and that. And now I'm like, no, we're just gonna make the decisions and this is what it's gonna be. And if people love it, great. And if not,
But
they
you
wanna
won it
help.
next time.
yeah, if you want to help, like we would love your help. So anyway, I love reunions for just reflecting on life in general. And so I always have a good time.
Also,
Yeah.
probably stuff that seemed really big during high school probably seems like not important now.
Not at all. Yeah. Some of the same stuff still happens, the same little gossip circles or, but yeah. It was nice to look back. Did you really enjoy yours?
I did. I really liked it, and to see everybody. A lot less people came than I thought were gonna come,
Mhm.
but it was still very meaningful. Initially, we were gonna do a nice dinner at a restaurant, and then the next day we were gonna do a big picnic with our families, but not enough people RSVP for the picnic, so we just ended up doing the dinner at a fancy restaurant at a
Oh.
hotel in Long Beach. So
Okay.
it was outdoors and it was right by the water. And it was really
Yeah,
pretty.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the Arlington.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we'll see. And then, now with my son starts high school this
Oh
year.
my goodness.
So
Oh,
it feels so weird. It's like, well, wait a second, because I just graduated. So I
yeah, it
don't
just
know.
happened,
It's just like 5
yesterday.
years ago. It was like 5 years ago. I don't know how this happened.
Not 25.
No. But yeah, so it's kind
And
of
then
like
junior
taking
highs.
me back. Yeah. Yeah. And then my daughter goes to junior high.
You have teenagers.
I know, it's so different too. It's true when they say the days are long and the years are short. It really is. And I had always tried to like soak up all that baby time and but it was also like in the midst of the hustle and bustle every day, you kind of like go through your day and you're like, okay, all right, bath time or dinner, bath time, bedtime,
The
routine.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now it's like, no, they're tucking me in, like they tucked me in last night. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I have an early morning.
Aw,
And
mommy tucking time.
yeah, anybody can give me smooches.
Aw, I like that.
Yeah. They still lied, but
I love
Yeah.
that they're still affectionate.
they are, yeah, very much so. And I'm so glad because I smothered them as children. It's like, you're gonna get all these kisses.
All of the kisses, yes.
But so for those who have little ones, and even like your daughter's age, it's such a precious time and everybody says, oh, it goes by so fast. And you're like, yeah, right. Like in the midst of it,
It really does though.
you don't feel like it is, but it does. It does. And things, they change.
They
really
change and
quickly.
they stay the same. I feel
Yeah.
like they are still sweet and like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I see her growing and getting tall and getting those long legs.
Yeah.
But she's still the sweetest little girl.
Yeah. And then once they start, with their like individuality and like, really kind of taking ownership of themselves and that sort of thing, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the ride. Speaking of, we had one.
He gonna make himself an egg right now?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And when they start cooking for themselves or cooking for you.
Ooh,
So yeah, on Mother's Day, I got a meal. They made me some chicken and what else did we have with it? I can't remember.
was
But
it cornbread?
came out really good.
You said it was some kind of bread.
It
I'm trying to remember
was.
what
It
kind of
was
bread it was.
It was cornbread. Roman showcasing himself. For those of you who can't see, said child is walking through, who's actually way bigger than me now. So that's also a weird thing to happen.
When they get taller than you.
Yeah, that happened really fast. My daughter's close behind, but I mean, it's not like I'm very tall anyway. 5'3.5".
Well, you usually wear heels, no?
I do. I usually have
Yeah.
some kind of,
I love your anklet. It's so
thank you. But yeah, I've been finding lots of comfort and some flat slides or some little wedges. Yeah.
I got these, which are cute, but
Ooh.
yeah.
Did you
Still
get
getting
those
used
on
to
your
them.
trip?
No, I got them here actually in the Mujeres market.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
have some of the same. So she has on these, how do you describe these? They're so
Leather huaraches, but with a heel on them. They're like a platform heel
Mm,
and they're lace up.
yeah, it's like around the ankle.
Yeah, around
It's
the
really
ankle.
cute. And a cute little design on the top. I wish I knew that vendor because I have some of her sandals too. Yeah.
Yeah, she has good
Some
stuff.
huaraches, yeah, and they're comfortable. So if I was gonna say, maybe we can do a little research and put her information in
Yes,
there, too.
well, we need to interview Mujeres from the Mujeres market. And also when I was on my trip with Ali to Costa Rica, we also met a couple women that we want to interview that one of them makes jewelry. And then the other one makes like different artesanías like rain sticks and copal vessels and things like that. So
Ooh,
Yeah.
Shoot, I like there's so many ideas. I feel like there's so many women out there who are doing their thing right now with the jewelry making, the shoes, all these little boss ladies like coming up with
entrepreneurs.
yes, yes, and I absolutely love it. I got into this whole conversation with my daughter who said, does she need college? Well, what if I don't want to go? No.
Everyone has different paths.
Yes.
There's also trade schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I said, well, it depends on what you want to do. There are some entrepreneurs who don't go to college and who are really successful.
Mhm.
But they are very savvy and
They work hard.
and they work very hard, incredibly hard. So, it was interesting because, I found myself like, no, of course you're going to go to school and and then thinking about my path, my path was, I went all the way around and back again and stopped school for a while and came back and I did finally finish. But it took a really long time and it was because I did not know what I wanted to do.
Mm.
Well, I want to work with people. But, some people, let's say they know they want to be a fireman all their life, firefighter all their life, and that's what they do as soon as they come out of school. There's some people who are confident with what they want to do. But I almost feel like, well, you got to try a couple different things and
Mhm.
see where you land.
Mhm.
Did you have to
Well,
circle back around?
I definitely changed majors. So I went into UCSB as a business econ major, but then I found ethnic studies and I was in love. Like yes, Chicano studies, finally learning about the history of my people that was taken away from us and I never learned in the K through 12 system. So I changed to major in Chicano studies and global international studies with a socioeconomic and political emphasis. So still kept the economics in there somewhere,
Yeah.
but mostly did change and found my path in organizing and being a movement builder. So my first job out of college was actually as a national coordinator for the Student Labor Action Project of Jobs with Justice and the United States Student Association. And so bringing together the labor movement and the student movement, and now with what I'm doing now, bringing in the environmental movement. So trying to build coalitions that'll be able to stand up against these huge corporations and just this capitalist system that continues to do us harm.
Yes, absolutely. Ooh, you know what? Bless you, because we need we need all the help we can get.
Well, you're doing your part too.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I recently, teamed up with some other organizations here in town that I feel can be a lot more powerful. Everyone's been working in silos and we're serving the same community and
Yeah.
we're serving the same people. So I'm like, why aren't we partnering and and creating like a strong foundation of like, hey, here's all these resources, here's what is available to you. How do we make this happen together? And so more recently it's been quite a few partnerships. In fact, Gateway Educational Services.
I love them.
I do too. Miss Connie, Miss Audrey, shout out to them who they do so much. They do tutoring services,
Yes.
but also in that they've got workshops.
Sense of self.
Yes, yes. And we're working on a Black Youth Summit, which is coming up in August. I'm very excited about. I'm kind of heading up one of these panels. So there is a lot of work happening, but also it's kind of a grind,
Yeah.
but always worth it.
Partnerships is definitely where it's at. And I still want to hear about the Juneteenth event that you did, but just gonna do station identification real quick.
Yes.
You are listening to 96.5 FM, KZAA with the lovely Siobhan Hoover and Ana Rosa Rizo Centino, que madre and warrior mother. And today we're talking about your birthdays, your sense of self, what it means to age, what it means to travel, all the lessons learned. And so we're just going to hear about Juneteenth.
Yes, so Juneteenth, oh my gosh, it was such a full weekend. So I did both the San Ynez Valley Juneteenth celebration and then the celebration down in Santa Barbara. And I had to say, the one in San Ynez, we had so much fun.
It looked like fun. I saw a
It
picture that you
was.
posted.
Yeah, so it was Harlem Renaissance theme, so
So
kind of
cool.
1920s. The decorations were incredible. It was kind of like the day of coordinator, so running around and ensuring that everyone was in their place. But it was like we had the 360 photo booth, we had spoken word, we had singers, a comedian, Chris Williams was out, and it was an incredible time. Vashti up there in San Ynez, she's really passionate about ensuring that the Black community is uplifted there. And she has a lot of support from, I would say, some folks who are very involved. Shelby Sim is one of them. He's an incredible person. But the money that was raised, there's an auction as well. So the money that was raised there, it went towards a scholarship opportunity for single mothers through this program that provides childcare.
Okay.
And then they gave a scholarship to a young lady who it was a sports related scholarship. I want to say soccer. I think it was soccer. So she got a scholarship to a very prestigious camp, and yeah, so some of the money was donated, and it was a blessing to be there for sure. And then the one here, I mean, the block party, it has just grown so much since last year. And I usually have my booth with my essential oil blends, and but we block off Gray Avenue down in the funk zone, so right by Shalhoub's funk zone patio, and there's a full-on stage. Vivian Storm did her
fun.
thing. That was amazing. We had a dance troupe out there. I can't recall the name of them.
And Vivian Storm was at your birthday.
She was, yes. Yeah, that was a great time. But yeah, it was like everybody let their hair down. The community came out, they showed up. There were a couple of different food trucks. All of the Black facing organizations were there to talk about what they do for the community. And it just felt really good to see not only all these Black folks live here, who knew? But also to see, yes, yeah, exactly. But to also then see all the community supporters.
I wanted to go so bad, but my dad was in the hospital.
I know you had a rough few weeks here, so yes, it was like all around it was a great time. And we after the event went and sat Shalhoub's, had some yummy food.
Did you try the PB&J sundae?
I did. Yeah, it is. So the owners there, the family they're very close to my heart. And so LJ comes out and he's like, do you want to try the ice cream? I was like, I don't eat ice cream. He's like, well, you need to try this. And he comes out with the PB&J sundae and whatever those little crunchy things are in there.
So good.
Okay, maybe I would eat this. But yeah, I think I'd eat this.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's funny because they're a meat company. But I'm always like, well, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? And so there's all these things on the menu, and LJ would be like, well, did you try the sandwich yet? And I'm like, I did. A really yummy sandwich. It's like cucumbers and sprouts with a balsamic glaze and smoked Gouda, I think it is, and they put jalapeno chips in there.
Oh wow!
And it's so delicious. Anyway, I digress.
I think it's almost lunchtime.
So yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, going off on this food here, but the Juneteenth celebration was everything that I think they wanted it to be. The folks from Healing Justice typically organize everything, and then there's a whole team surrounding them. And I just think everyone this year there was so much joy. There was so much joy around it, and I was really pleased.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that you had some bumpy roads here and it's, I mean, to see that you're just still smiling.
Well, my
makes it
dad was in the
awesome.
hospital and then my mom was in the hospital, but they're both out of the hospital now.
Okay.
So my dad's doing much better. My mom is still pretty dependent on oxygen. So with her, it's more like a day at a time situation, but
Yeah.
they're still with us, still
Yeah.
kicking. So that makes me happy.
Everybody send your, whatever it is, you believe in prayer or vibes or energy, whatever you believe in.
Light
we're
those
sending it your
candles
way.
for my
Yes,
moments.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can only say it. But what do you say?
I think you made me hungry with all that talk about food.
I know. Really trying to, one thing that I'm really looking forward to is Fiesta this year. And typically I only eat tamales like twice a year, so it's usually around the holidays and Fiesta. So that's gonna be my treat. And I cannot wait.
I love the whole like community getting together part, but just the whole part of like glamorizing colonization just
Well,
really
that,
gets.
I know. I was sitting at the mission and a couple of friends were, talking about how beautiful it is. And I said, yeah, it just reminds me of the genocide. So, I mean, and they were like, I can't believe you said that. And I'm like, it's true. It's true. I don't
Yeah.
look at this and see, it certainly is beautiful. There's
The architecture.
the architecture is beautiful. But how it got there and the stories that were told, like as if we were willing participants in this. That was not the case. And I just wish that that history was told correctly, So yeah.
Back in the day, La Casa de la Raza used to have the anti-fiestas.
There's a thing.
Yeah, a
Oh.
long time ago, but it got shut down.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of helping our city, make money. I just wish that these businesses treated the locals better, in knowing that we support their businesses all year. Because you get a lot of folks who, say, oh, I frequent this restaurant all the time. And then I went there during Fiesta and it was like, they're not treated as if their money all year matters.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want to put out there to businesses. Maybe we'll talk about that more when the time comes, but
Yeah.
just ensuring that people who support you all year long are made to feel like they're important and not
Right.
just another dollar,
Right.
which I guess in this economy, it's really difficult.
Keeps getting harder for those of us who are working people. But yeah, the Elon Musk of the world and all that just keep getting richer.
Whole nother topic, I think.
Yeah.
And because I think about, these gas prices and it's like, oh no, they made billions of dollars, and oh, that's a whole
They
nother
try to
thing,
act
I
like
think.
there's scarcity.
Yes, yeah, but it's like, no, you're definitely in the green.
Yeah.
So
Just trying to see how much more money they can make off of people.
squeeze
That's
out.
why I have an EV.
Smart. That is smart. To look into that.
Apparently by the year 2030, they're gonna stop selling oil powered vehicles.
They're supposed to, yes.
That's
Yeah.
the law.
Yeah. I remember that passed. So we're getting close.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Let's see.
Get that green economy going.
That's it. That's it. Well, quite a morning.
Yes, thank you for celebrating with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Just like I said, I'm all about a celebration and just want everybody to be special on their special day.
You
Yeah.
did. Thank you so much for your gifts. Those
Yes,
gifts. Yeah.
you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Well, you're looking lovely as always.
You are too. Yes. I love the flower. And the flower in the hair, it just does it for me every single time. Every single time.
You can
You're
tell
so
if I'm
lovely.
happy or not if I'm wearing a flower in my hair.
Oh, is that the way to tell? Okay. Oh, Well, yeah, and see, and then that only comes around once a year for me too. The fiesta, flower in my hair.
Oh, that's when you put,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I need to get you more so you can wear them.
I
throughout
think
the year.
so. Yeah, I have like 4. I get rotated every year, but
Yeah, you need more.
yeah.
I'm on it.
Yes. Oh, man.
Thank you for another great episode.
Absolutely.
See you again
Yes,
next week.
Next week. Same time.
Same
place.
channel,
Yeah.
KZAA 96.5 FM, with Siobhan Hoover and Ana Rosa Rizzo Centino, your Madre and Warrior Mother. See us on YouTube, check out our Instagram, our Facebook page, and we love you.
Bye.